The most attractive women I know spend the least time trying to be attractive. That's not a coincidence. That's a principle. And once you understand it, you'll never chase beauty the same way again. But first, let's talk about why this matters. And I don't mean surface level beauty tips. I'm not here to talk about skincare routines or the perfect shade of lipstick. This goes so much deeper than that. Here's what I've come to understand about women, especially women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. By this point in your life, you've probably spent years trying to be beautiful, trying to be enough, trying to look a certain way so that you'd be loved, accepted, chosen, respected. Maybe it started when you were young. Maybe someone made you feel like your worth was tied to how pretty you looked. Maybe you learned early on that attention came when you performed, when you dressed up, when you tried harder. And so you tried for decades. You tried in your 20s, you tried in your marriage, you tried at work. You tried for your children, your family, your community. And maybe somewhere along the way you got tired. Tired of the effort, tired of the pressure. Tired of feeling like no matter what you did, it was never quite enough. Here's what I want you to know. The most beautiful women I've ever encountered in my life are not the ones who try the hardest. They're not the ones chasing perfection. The most beautiful women I know are the ones who've stopped trying so hard and started being. Just being. They've discovered something powerful. They've discovered that true beauty isn't about what you add. It's about what you allow to shine through. And that changes everything, because when you stop performing beauty and start embodying it, something magical happens. You stop exhausting yourself. You stop seeking approval. And people are drawn to you anyway, not because of what you look like, but because of how you make them feel. That's what this video is really about. It's about reclaiming your natural beauty, the beauty that was always there. The beauty that doesn't require filters or trends or anyone's permission. It's about understanding that your feminine energy, your grace, your presence, your aura, these are the things that truly captivate people. And they don't require effort. They require intention. They require habits. Simple, daily habits that connect you back to your truest self. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 feminine habits that make you beautiful without trying. These are not quick fixes. They're not tricks. They're ways of being, ways of moving through the world, ways of treating yourself and others that create a natural radiance that no makeup, no outfit, no surgery can replicate. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what these habits are, but why they work. You'll see real examples of women living these habits. And you'll have clear, practical steps you can take starting today to embody this kind of effortless beauty. This is for you if you're tired of trying so hard, if you want to feel beautiful from the inside out, if you're ready to step into your soft power and let your natural light lead the way. Let's begin. The first habit is simple, and yet almost no one does it. It's the habit of slowing down. And I mean truly slowing down, not just moving slower, but thinking slower, speaking slower, breathing slower. Let me tell you why this matters so much. We live in a world that worships speed. Everything is fast. Fast food, fast fashion, fast communication. We're constantly rushing from one thing to the next, one task to another, one notification to the next ping on our phones. And in the middle of all this rushing, something gets lost. You get lost. When you rush, your nervous system is on high alert. Your body is tense. Your mind is scattered. Your energy becomes chaotic, frantic, anxious. And people feel that. When you're rushing, people around you feel the stress coming off of you. They might not be able to name it, but they sense it. And it doesn't feel good to be near. But when you slow down, everything changes. A woman who moves slowly, who speaks with patience, who doesn't rush her words or her movements, she carries a different kind of energy. She feels grounded. She feels secure. She feels like someone who has time. Someone who values herself enough not to hurry through her own life. And that is incredibly attractive. Think about it this way. When you rush, you're sending a message to the world and to yourself that says, I'm not important enough to take my time. I have to hurry because I'm not valuable enough to make anyone wait. But when you slow down, you're sending a different message, I matter. My time matters. My presence matters. And I'm not going to rush through my own existence just to meet someone else's timeline. That's power. That's quiet, feminine power. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She's 43. She has 2 children, a demanding job, and a household to manage. Her days are packed from morning to night. For years, Sarah moved through life like she was on fire. She talked fast. She walked fast. She ate fast. She barely had time to breathe, let alone think. And she was exhausted, constantly exhausted. But here's what else happened. People stopped really seeing her. She became a blur, a woman in motion, someone always on the way somewhere else, and she felt invisible. Then something shifted. Sarah reads something that stuck with her, a simple line. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. And she realized she was rushing through everything, including herself. So she made a decision, a small one, but powerful. She decided that every morning, before her day officially began, she would take 10 minutes to sit quietly. Just 10 minutes. No phone, no tasks. Just her, sitting with a cup of tea, watching the light come through the window. At first it felt strange, even uncomfortable. Her mind kept screaming at her to get up, to do something, to be productive. But she stayed, and over time something beautiful happened. Those 10 minutes of stillness started to seep into the rest of her day. She found herself speaking a little slower, walking a little more deliberately, pausing before reacting. And people noticed. Her husband said she seemed different, more present. Her children started opening up to her more. Her coworkers found her calming to be around. She didn't change her wardrobe. She didn't get a new hairstyle. She didn't do anything to her appearance. But she became more beautiful because she slowed down enough to actually inhabit her own life. So here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to notice your pace. Today, right now, how fast do you move? How fast do you talk? How fast do you eat? Just notice, without judgment. Just observe. Second, I want you to choose one moment each day to intentionally slow down. Maybe it's your morning coffee. Maybe it's the way you walk to your car. Maybe it's how you respond to a text message, taking a breath before you type. Start with one moment. Let that moment become a habit, and let that habit slowly transform your entire energy. Third, practice the power of the pause. Before you speak, pause. Before you react, pause. Before you rush to the next thing, pause. In those pauses, you'll find yourself. You'll find your grace. You'll find your beauty. Because beauty isn't rushed. Beauty doesn't hurry. Beauty takes its time. And so should you. The second habit is something so rare in our world that when someone offers it to you, it feels like a gift. It's the habit of true presence. Being fully here. Fully attentive. Fully engaged with the person in front of you. Most people are never truly present. They're physically in the room, but their mind is somewhere else. They're thinking about what they're going to say next. They're checking their phone. They're worried about the past or anxious about the future. And when you're talking to someone like that, you feel it. You feel unseen, unimportant. But when someone gives you their full attention, when they look at you like you're the only person in the world, when they listen, truly listen, without interrupting or judging or rushing you, it's magnetic. It's one of the most beautiful things a human being can offer another. And here's the thing, it doesn't require beauty products. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require being young or thin or wearing the right clothes. It just requires you deciding to be here. Now, with this person, fully. Let me tell you why this matters so much for your beauty, your aura, your energy. When you're present with others, you stop thinking about yourself. You stop worrying about how you look or what people think of you. You stop performing. And that's when your natural beauty comes through. Because true beauty isn't self-conscious. True beauty is self-forgetful. When you're so focused on connecting with someone else, on making them feel seen and valued, you relax. Your face softens. Your eyes brighten. Your energy becomes warm and inviting. And people remember you, not for how you looked, but for how you made them feel. Think about the most beautiful women you've known in your life. I'd bet many of them had this quality. They made you feel special. They made you feel heard. They made you feel like you matter. That's presence. And it's a habit you can cultivate. Let me give you an example. I know a woman named Grace. She's 51. She's a grandmother now. And she's not what society would call conventionally beautiful. But everyone who meets Grace remembers her. Because Grace has this incredible gift. When she's with you completely. She puts down her phone. She turns her body toward you. She looks you in the eyes, not in an intense way, but in a way that says, I see you. I'm here. She asks questions, real questions. Not just small talk, but questions that show she's genuinely curious about you. And when you answer, she listens. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't check her watch. She just listens. When you're with Grace, you feel like you're the most important person in the room. And that feeling is addictive. People want to be around her. They're drawn to her. Not because of her appearance, because of her presence. Grace once told me something I'll never forget. She said, "The greatest gift you can give someone is your attention. In a world where everyone is distracted, being fully present is an act of love." She's right. And here's the beautiful thing. When you give this gift to others, you receive it too. You become more grounded, more connected, more alive. Because presence isn't just for the other person. It's for you too. So here's what I want you to practice. First, when someone is speaking to you, put away distractions. Put down your phone. Close your laptop. Turn your body toward them. Signal with your whole being that they have your attention. Second, practice listening without planning your response. Most of us listen just enough to figure out what we're going to say next. Instead, try listening to understand. Listen with curiosity. Let their words actually land before you respond. Third, make eye contact. Not aggressively, but warmly. Look at people when you speak to them. Let them see your attention in your eyes. Fourth, ask follow-up questions. Show people you're actually listening. You mentioned you were stressed about your daughter. How is she doing now? That simple act of remembering and asking shows presence that most people never receive. When you practice true presence, something shifts in you. You stop being so focused on yourself, on your insecurities, on your appearance. And you start focusing on connection. And in that connection, you become radiant. Not because you're trying to be beautiful, but because you're being present. And presence is beautiful, naturally, effortlessly. The third habit is about your voice. Not just the sound of it, but the way you use it. It's the habit of speaking with soft power. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean speaking in a way that is both gentle and strong, calm and certain, kind and clear. Too many women have been taught that to be heard, you have to be loud. You have to be aggressive. You have to fight for your space in the conversation. But here's what I've learned. The women who are truly powerful, the women who command respect, are often the quietest ones in the room. Not quiet because they're afraid. Quiet because they're secure. They don't need to shout. They don't need to over-explain. They don't need to fill every silence with nervous chatter. They speak when they have something to say. And when they speak, people listen. That's soft power. Let me tell you why this is so connected to beauty. When you speak with soft power, You carry an energy of calm confidence. You don't seem desperate. You don't seem anxious. You don't seem like you're trying to prove yourself. And that is incredibly attractive. Think about how jarring it is to be around someone who's always shouting, always interrupting, always trying to dominate the conversation. It's exhausting. It's off-putting. Now think about being around someone who speaks softly, who pauses before responding, who chooses her words carefully. There's a grace to that, a dignity, and it makes you want to lean in, to listen more closely, to value what they say. This doesn't mean being a doormat. This doesn't mean never speaking up or never expressing your needs. Quite the opposite. Soft power means you can say difficult things in a gentle way. You can set boundaries without raising your voice. You can disagree without being disagreeable. It means your strength doesn't depend on volume, it depends on conviction. Let me share a story. There's a woman named Maria. She's 47. For most of her life, Maria was a people pleaser. She avoided conflict at all costs. She said yes when she meant no. She swallowed her feelings to keep the peace, but that started to make her bitter, resentful. She felt like she was disappearing, so she swung to the other extreme. She started speaking up, but harshly. She became defensive aggressive, always ready for a fight. And that didn't work either. People pulled away from her. Relationships became tense. Maria was stuck. She felt like she had only two options: be a doormat or be a bulldozer. But then she learned about soft power. She learned that she could speak her truth without screaming it. She could set boundaries without slamming doors. She could disagree without attacking. She started practicing. When her sister made a comment that hurt her, instead of exploding or silently stewing, Maria said calmly, "When you say that, it hurts me. I know you might not mean it that way, but I wanted you to know how it lands." When her husband made a decision without consulting her, instead of yelling or shutting down, she said, "I felt left out of that decision." I'd like us to talk about things like that together in the future. Simple words, calm delivery, clear message. And something amazing happened. People started listening to her more. Not less, more. Because when you speak with soft power, people don't feel attacked. They feel invited into a conversation. And they're more likely to actually hear you. Maria also noticed something else. She felt more beautiful. Not because of anything physical, but because she was no longer at war with herself or others. She was at peace. And that peace showed on her face, in her posture, in her entire energy. So here's what I want you to practice. First, slow down your speech. Rushing your words makes you seem nervous or unsure. Speaking slowly gives weight to what you say. Second, lower your volume. You don't have to whisper. But speaking softly, especially in tense moments, actually draws people in. It makes them listen more carefully. Third, pause before responding, especially in difficult conversations. That pause gives you time to choose your words. It keeps you from reacting emotionally, and it signals confidence. Fourth, use I statements instead of you, accusations. Instead of, "You always ignore me," try, "I feel unheard when my suggestions aren't acknowledged." Same message, different delivery, completely different result. Fifth, practice saying no with grace. "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm not able to do that right now." No over-explanation, no apology marathon, just a clear, kind no. When you speak with soft power, you honor yourself and others. You communicate with dignity. And that dignity is one of the most beautiful things a woman can possess. The fourth habit might seem obvious on the surface, but most women don't truly understand the depth of it. It's the habit of caring for yourself as a sacred practice. Now, I'm not talking about self-care as the world sells it. I'm not talking about bubble baths and face masks and treating yourself to expensive things. Those can be nice. But that's not what I mean. I'm talking about something deeper. I'm talking about treating your body, your mind, your spirit as sacred. as worthy of care and respect. Every single day. Let me explain why this matters so much. Especially women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s have spent their entire lives taking care of others. Their children, their husbands, their parents, their colleagues, their friends. And somewhere along the way, they forgot to take care of themselves. Or worse, they were taught that taking care of themselves was selfish. That a good woman puts everyone else first, that her needs come last if they matter at all. And so they ran on empty, year after year. Decade after decade, they ate whatever was left over. They slept when they finally collapsed. They ignored their body's signals. They pushed through pain and exhaustion and burnout. And it showed, not because taking care of others made them ugly, but because neglecting themselves told their own soul that they didn't matter. Here's what I want you to understand. When you care for yourself as a sacred practice, you're not being selfish. You're honoring the truth that you are valuable, that your body is a gift, that your energy is precious. And that kind of self-honoring, it changes the way you look. It changes the way you carry yourself. It changes the way others perceive you. A woman who respects herself radiates something different than a woman who neglects herself. You can see it in her skin, in her posture, in her eyes, not because she's spent thousands on treatments, but because she treats herself like she matters. Let me tell you about a woman named Diana. Diana is 49. She's a mother of 3. For 20 years, she put her family first. She wore the same old clothes while making sure her kids had new ones. She ate cold leftovers standing at the kitchen counter. She couldn't remember the last time she went to bed at a reasonable hour. She told herself she was being a good mother, a good wife. But she was exhausted all the time. And when she looked in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. Not because she had aged, but because there was no light in her eyes. Then one day, her youngest daughter said something that shook her. She said, "Mom, why don't you ever do anything for yourself?" It was an innocent question, but it hit Diana like a wave. She realized she had been teaching her daughter, through her own example, that women don't matter, that a woman's job is to give until there's nothing left. And that broke her heart. So Diana made a decision. She started small. She decided that every morning she would spend 15 minutes on herself before anyone else woke up. Just 15 minutes. Sometimes she stretched. Sometimes she journaled. Sometimes she just sat with her coffee and watched the sunrise. She started eating breakfast sitting down at the table, like she mattered. She bought herself new underwear, the good kind, not because anyone would see it, but because she deserved to feel beautiful in her own skin. She started going to bed earlier, saying no to things that drained her, taking walks just for herself. And slowly, something changed. Her skin looked brighter, her posture improved, her face softened. She looked younger, but not in that forced way. In that natural way that comes from being rested and nourished and at peace. Her husband noticed. Her children noticed. Her friends asked what she was doing differently. But here's what really changed. Diana noticed herself again. She started feeling like herself again, like a woman worth caring for. And that changed everything. So here's what I want you to practice. First, start thinking of self-care as non-negotiable, not optional. You don't skip taking care of yourself because you're too busy. You make time for it because you are worth it. Second, care for your body with respect. Feed it nourishing food. Hydrate it. Rest it when it's tired. Move it in ways that feel good. This isn't about punishment or perfection. It's about honoring the body that carries you through life. Third, care for your appearance with intention, not vanity, intention. Wear clothes that make you feel good. Take care of your skin. Style your hair in a way that makes you smile, not for others, for yourself. Fourth, care for your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, your spirit. Spend time in silence, in reflection. in prayer or meditation or whatever nourishes your soul. 5th, set boundaries around your energy. You can't pour from an empty cup. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what fills you. When you care for yourself as a sacred practice, you send a message to the universe and to everyone around you: I matter. I am valuable. I am worthy of care. And that message is visible. It shows in how you carry yourself, in how you walk, in how you speak, in how you look. Because a woman who knows her own worth, she glows. The 5th and final habit is perhaps the most powerful of all. It's the habit of cultivating inner peace. Now, I know that sounds simple, but it's actually the hardest one on this list, and also the most transformative. Because here's the truth. The most beautiful women in the world are not the ones with the perfect features. They're the ones with the peaceful spirits. Think about what happens when a woman is constantly stressed, anxious, angry, or afraid. It shows on her face, the tension in her jaw, the furrow in her brow, the tightness in her shoulders. Her eyes look wary, her skin looks dull, her energy feels heavy. But when a woman is at peace, everything changes. Her face relaxes, her eyes soften, her whole energy feels light and inviting. People want to be around her. They feel calmer just being in her presence. Inner peace is like a light that shines from the inside out, and no amount of makeup or fashion can replicate it. Let me tell you why this is so crucial, especially for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. By this stage of life, you've been through things. You've experienced pain, loss, disappointment, maybe betrayal, maybe heartbreak, maybe things that no one else even knows about. And all of that can live inside you, weighing you down, stealing your peace, showing up on your face, in your body, in your energy. But it doesn't have to. You have the power to choose peace, not by pretending the hard things never happen, but by processing them, healing them, and deciding not to carry them forward. This is not about being perfect. It's not about never having negative emotions. You'll still feel angry sometimes, sad sometimes, afraid sometimes. But inner peace is about what's underneath those moments. It's about a foundation of calm that you can return to, a center that holds even when life gets chaotic. And when you have that center, you become unshakable. Not rigid, unshakable, grounded, stable, secure. And that is profoundly beautiful. Let me share a story. There's a woman named Ruth. She's 54. Her life has not been easy. She went through a painful divorce in her 40s. Her mother passed away shortly after. She faced financial struggles, health scares. She had every reason to be bitter, anxious, and hard. And for a while, she was. She carried so much pain, and it showed. She looked older than her years, tired, worn down, closed off. But Ruth made a decision. She decided that she would not let her past steal her peace. She started working on herself. Not just on the outside, but on the inside. She went to therapy. She journaled. She forgave not because people deserved it, but because she deserved to be free. She started meditating in the mornings. Just 10 minutes of stillness, breathing, letting go. She practiced gratitude. Every night, she would write down 3 things she was grateful for, even on hard days. She let go of things she couldn't control. She stopped arguing with reality and started accepting what was, while still working toward what could be. And slowly, her energy shifted. People who hadn't seen her in years were stunned by the change. She looked different, younger, lighter, more alive. But the biggest change was in her eyes. They were calm, warm, at peace. Ruth once told me, "I used to think peace was something that happened when your life got sorted out. Now I know that peace is something you create inside yourself, regardless of what's happening outside." She's right. And here's the beautiful thing. When you have inner peace, you stop needing external validation. You stop performing for approval. You stop chasing beauty because you're afraid of not being enough. You just are enough. And that knowledge settles into your bones. It shows in your face. It draws people to you. So here's what I want you to practice. First, start a daily stillness practice. It doesn't have to be long. Even 5 or 10 minutes of silence, meditation, prayer, or quiet breathing can transform your inner world over time. Second, work on your healing. Whatever wounds you carry, from childhood, from relationships, from life, begin the process of healing them. This might mean therapy, coaching, journaling, or simply allowing yourself to feel what you've been avoiding. Third, practice letting go. Let go of grudges. Let go of resentments. Let go of the need to control everything. Holding on to anger and bitterness only hurts you. Release it not for others, but for your own peace. Fourth, cultivate gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It rewires your brain for positivity. It opens your heart. And open hearts are beautiful hearts. Fifth, protect your peace. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every comment needs a response. Learn to walk away from chaos. Learn to say, not my problem. Learn to guard your peace like the precious treasure it is. When you cultivate inner peace, you glow from the inside out. Your face softens. Your eyes brighten. Your whole energy becomes magnetic. Not because you're trying to be beautiful, but because you are at peace. And peace is beautiful, inherently, effortlessly, always. Now, before I recap these habits, I want to take a moment to reframe something. Because I know that many of you watching this have beliefs that might be getting in your way. Maybe you were taught that to be beautiful, you have to try hard, work hard, push hard. Maybe you were taught that beauty is about perfection, about having no flaws, about looking a certain way. Maybe you were taught that if you're not young, thin, and flawless, you're not really beautiful. And those beliefs are heavy. They've probably caused you pain. They've made you doubt yourself. They've made you feel like you're never quite good enough. So I want to offer you a new belief. Here it is, true beauty doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from being more yourself. Beauty is not about adding more. It's about removing the barriers to what's already there. When you slow down, you remove the barrier of business and reveal your natural grace. When you're fully present, you remove the barrier of distraction and reveal your warm, attentive heart. When you speak with soft power, you remove the barrier of anxiety and reveal your quiet strength. When you care for yourself as a sacred practice, you remove the barrier of neglect and reveal your inherent worthiness.